So the war on freedom in America is certainly real. The war on freedom in Canada is certainly real. But let's take a look at how the two countries are operating right now as we speak. Freedom-fighting truckers are being rounded up by the police in Ottawa. In America, we are rounding up the police protecting freedom. The George Soros-installed district attorney in radical Austin, Texas, just announced he is expecting to indict 19 police officers for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. This stems from the June 2020 Black Lives Matter riots in that city. But the only assault I witnessed in Austin surrounding these charges is an assault on democracy.
We believe many protesters injured by law enforcement officers during the protest were innocent bystanders.
Innocent bystanders? What were they doing there in the first place? Look at the hordes of rioters moving in on police, threatening them, throwing rocks and bottles and more. One rioter tried to throw a flaming Molotov cocktail at officers, and still, cops there refrained from using brute force and instead opted for less than lethal techniques, beanbags, to stop the advancing crowd. The Austin chief of police there described the chaos his officers faced that month while boldly denouncing the decision to indict these officers.
Officers were prepared for hundreds when instead they faced thousands, placing them in potentially the worst possible circumstances to manage escalating crowds. There were significant portions of times that the crowds were riotous and violent. Property destruction and looting took place. Rocks, frozen bottles of water, bottles containing bodily fluids, commercial-grade fireworks, and other objects were hurled at officers and into crowds in an attempt to seriously injure.
I hope you are watching the video along with that soundbite from that police chief, because it is despicable that these officers are charged with any crime. Any reasonable person can see just from watching this that the mob posed a clear threat, a potentially deadly threat at that, to the brave officers trying to keep the peace and the civilians around them. The indictments against these officers are all part of this nation's left-wing war on cops that is still all too real. It is no surprise the Austin District Attorney, Jose Garza, is part of a growing crop of George Soros-inspired and installed prosecutors, all of whom promote coddle-the-criminal policies that only allow crime to flourish. It's getting out of control in Austin. Chaos is what these prosecutors want.
There are some people in this community and across the state who insist that there must never be accountability for law enforcement if they break the law.
That is simply not true. Those people don't exist. That's an absolute lie. Every good cop in America, every single cop I've ever spoken to wants bad cops off the job. There is no one who doesn't think rogue officers should be held to account. But I didn't see any rogue officers in Austin during that, quote, summer of love in 2020. We saw brave ones, and I've watched a lot of this video, all of whom got caught in a well-organized trap, and that's what I think this was. Black Lives Matter rioters, along with Antifa, and their attacks on law enforcement turned out to be a setup job that allowed the leftist Antifa-inspired prosecutor to pounce on these officers. An anti-rule of law public defender is what he amounts to, posing as a prosecutor. Even the police chief sees it.
I am not aware of any conduct that, given the circumstances that the officers were working under, would rise to the level of a criminal violation by these officers.
I have no reason not to trust that man. And it is nice to finally see a police chief in a liberal city back his officers for once. It doesn't happen often these days. And as I watched that cop-hating prosecutor spew his anti-cop rhetoric, it was the last line of the news conference that he held where he took no questions, but the last line, this one was the most offensive to me.
Our office investigates and prosecutes any person who causes harm in our community, regardless of who causes it.
Oh boy, that's rich. He better be very careful making a claim like that, because it appears to be another flat-out lie from that district attorney. Common sense Austinites are heavily criticizing Garza, the district attorney, for releasing dozens of violent criminals back onto the streets of Austin without prosecution. Hey, just like his brother prosecutors up in San Francisco and Los Angeles and Chicago and Baltimore and beyond, including, by the way, 2 suspects captured on video holding guns during the 6th Street mass shooting last June. That person killed, one person was killed there, and 14 others were injured in that mass shooting. Also last June, one of his assistant district attorneys quit in disgust after she insists Garza told her to, quote, delete emails and work product notes from the evidence management system. What kind of chief prosecutor tells his staff to do that? That's surrounding the prosecution of a man charged with aggravated sexual assault of a child. So now, as 19 Austin police officers face charges for, in my opinion, doing their jobs, protecting themselves and the community, the one who should be charged with a crime is the prosecutor himself for dereliction of duty. And yet he keeps his job while these brave officers will now begin the process of fighting for theirs.